Hey everyone, Noble Artist here, bringing another fan review video. So this is going to be the second to last video for the clone make, or the mini. I don't know why I say clone. I'm staring at clones. The minifig maker. So I have this video, and then there is one more video. He does have a vehicle. I'm not going to tell you which vehicle it is, but he did customize the vehicle. And then there's a couple smaller figures that aren't really related to Star Wars. They're kind of just side figures. I think I might have mentioned that in one of my videos beforehand. But I'm going to do a video putting both of those kind of together, or mainly it's going to be on the vehicle, and then I'll throw in those other figures. I was going to do it with this one. If I have time, I might, but there's 6 figures here, so depending on how much time I have at the end of this, I'm going to try to keep this one relatively short. But I am working still on my other stuff, and getting this new base plate, I'm going to try to organize some of my clones today. I'm going to try to clean up. I got a lot of stuff just sitting around, trying to get my room organized before I do that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start from this side and just work my way down. Now, I will be critiquing these a little bit. I don't want to, I don't know, I can't remember if, he didn't really give me any details on here as far as I have a piece of paper that came with it, as far as the type of critiquing or just doing a video on them. But for those who want to send me a video, I know it's a big popular question, just send me a personal message and I'll give you my address. Now, I know some people, I haven't checked my messages in a while, so some of those 3 weeks ago they've asked me, and I do apologize. So I'm going to, while this video is loading, I'm going to send my address out. I would put it in the description, but I don't really want to leave it in the title, just because I don't want, thousands of people to see my address just in case someone wants to do something stupid. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this. So the first one is just a plain white Commando. I haven't made a Commando in a while. I thought about doing a Commando contest, but this one is just, he labeled it as a plain white Commando. Now this one has the normal armor, I guess you would see on on the clones. My hand's probably going to, hopefully won't knock all that over. So this one does have metal armor, which is cool, and then it has some painting. I think this is supposed to be gray. Got some gray paint on here. So the knee pads, centerpiece, and then some of the chest detail right up in here, and then the same pieces here. This right here, this is a pretty easy piece to make out of metal if you want to. Just get a piece that, just make sure it's narrow, it's about the width of, I'm trying to do with these trees, but it's hard to do. Make sure it's the width of the hand itself, and then just cut a little rectangle out and fold it over. It folds over really nicely. Those pieces glue on quite well, so it'll be a little bit nicer than having just a little slab of paint there, just for future reference. The back, nothing on the back, just more paint. I did do a backpack tutorial, so for those who want to know more about backpacks, I put a link up here in this corner to my tutorials, so go check that out if you want to have a couple hints on how, I almost said tricks and tips, but it's not a, I guess it's just a tutorial on how I go about the process of doing backpacks. But anyway, so yeah, and then we got some gray, more striping or details on the arm. Now, I don't know what kind of brush you're using. It is kind of hard to see the details on the shoulder and the elbow pad. So I don't know if you could try to get a smaller brush. I know that's kind of the main problem is just getting, even for me, just trying to get small details is really tricky. So if your brush is too big, try using the tip of a toothpick, or getting a really fine tip paintbrush might help out with that. And then this is kind of cool, the visor painted blue up in here, because their visors are always kind of like that glowing blue look. And then of course here's the face to the figure. So all in all, a really cool figure. I do like Commandos, they're a lot of fun to make, and got some detailing up there on the head as well. So cool figure. Moving on, we all know this one. This is going to be the Shock Trooper. Again, so yeah, we got the same pieces of armor. Well, with this one, there's no chest armor, which is totally fine. This one, I believe, came with, I want to say this one came with already some detailing on the chest. It looks like it did, but again, I could be wrong. So yeah, got the knee pads, the centerpiece, these ammo packs, and with the arms, again, we have the shoulder pad, and then I think that's just, yeah, it's just painting on the stripes on the arms. And then got a back to tank, or a thermal detonator, sorry, a thermal detonator right there. And then we've got the stripe down the helmet, which is painted on there. And then this This was actually painted on the color in here. I was looking at it trying to think if this is an actual body that he used from it, and this is all painted on there. So I think this is actually a plain Stormtrooper customized into a Shock Trooper, which is really cool. So all in all, good figure. I can tell you took some time doing this, and it's hard to give like critiquing on paint just because I'm not a huge fan of it, but just straight up painting on the figure, it's really hard to see the detail. Which brings me to this figure right here. This is one of the Old Republic sets that they did. I wish they had done more because these are really cool figures, but for this one here, it's really hard to critique it or just to give an opinion because looking at it, there's nothing added to it, and it's just solely like paint. And I know some people do a really good job at paint, but they're like professional painters and they can paint better than me. And I'm not going to throw any names out, but some of the more popular customizers, they just do paint and they have good painting skills. Granted, they send a lot of their stuff out and get it done from other people, and it's like 5 people had a hand in making each figure, but I just always liked having pieces on it just because it pops off. And I don't know, I think I've just been away from this for so long that it's hard for me to appreciate it as much. I hope that doesn't sound mean, but I can't really say anything about it because it's just, you know, you paint it. And again, I'm not trying to sound mean, but it's just painted on the arms, and then from what I can tell, there's a little bit of paint here, only from an angle just to see the glare off of the light, which my camera's kind of blurry so you can't see it. There's just a little bit of paint down here on the knees, and then there. So it's like covering over the colors of it with more color, if that makes sense. So, but it's a cool figure. I like that, the maroons and stuff. I like the color scheme with it. There's just not a lot to critique on it. Now we have a Bomb Squad Commando. That's a pretty cool concept. Bomb Squad, I don't know why. I feel like a lot of people don't like them. I know they're just kind of generic and orange, and you can't really do a lot with them as far as customizing goes, but orange is my favorite color, so I always thought they were pretty cool. And I do have a couple of them. I would like to get some more for my army, but we'll see how that goes. And definitely making commandos out of them, that's a cool idea. I think it's pretty much the same commando armor he has with this one from the white one. If I can get the focus, it has the same shape, it looks like it's the same shape for the chest, and then knee pads and all that stuff is there. And then we have there's more armor on. We got the shoulder pad, the elbow pad, and I think there's a really cool little insignia right there on the shoulder. And that one's just painted with the white, and you got it on one side. And then we got ourselves a backpack. Now I think it's all made out of clay. Now the reason I think it was made out of clay is because when you paint clay and it's not dry all the way, the paint doesn't dry to it. And the reason I noticed that is because when you put it in this tube, I don't know if you can see right here, is the backpack actually got stuck to the wall of here, and you actually see some right like around this stuff. You can see some glue still around there. So I'm not sure if it was freshly glued and painted and then you put it in there, or what the case may be, but if you get this back and it looks damaged, it was glued to this plastic. And you can see how there's some other colors here that kind of got scraped off, so I'm not sure if they were just not fully dried. But I've painted I've painted clay before, and I kid you not, probably to this day it's still wet. Like, it just does not dry. I had some stuff, I painted a helmet, and it was a good couple years after, and the paint did not dry. It just did not, the chemicals couldn't adhere to the clay. And yeah, so just be careful when you're doing that. When I use clay, it's kind of dangerous to some extent, but I burn it when it's the oven stuff or the stuff you kind of heat up. I can do a tutorial on how to do that, but it's a way to get it to harden and not have to deal with that trouble. And then I coat it with glue, which is what I did with this air dry stuff for this stone. That's coated with glue, so it hardens that up. But anyway, that's for a different video. So yeah, this is a really cool commando. Got a custom gun here. Now, their commando guns are really cool because they kind of have one of those like Swiss Army knife guns where you can attach a sniper rifle to it and all these different attachments. And this one was bought from, I don't know the name of the company, one of the makers. This is Lego, or it fits Lego, but it was made by somebody else in a mold, and he just painted it I'm pretty sure that's how that worked. The front might have some color. No, yeah, looking at it, it's a solid piece. So cool weapon for the figure. Now this one here is a 501st Captain. Not anyone particular, just a 501st Captain. Really cool. I love 501st. We have, this one's also battle damage too, which also is pretty cool. I like battle damage stuff, and if you do make any mistakes, it's easy to hide it in a battle damage figure. But we've got the typical like 501st markings, of course, on the fin, going up back and around the figure. We have a thermal detonator down here, 2 ammo packs, and then we got just the shoulder pad. All this is painted on here, and then we have the belt, and then the centerpiece here, and then the 2 knee pads. Right there. Again, I would try to use a smaller paintbrush when you're doing that, to try to get these to be a little bit even. And if you mess up, see how like right there it's a little crooked, it dips down. Take your brush and just swipe it over the top like that, and just make that a solid line. Like if you make any mistakes, I know it's supposed to be like a V on each side, but if you go over that with a solid line and that dries, then you can take the white paint and kind of just put a dot in the middle and pull it up and kind of create, it's like creating the V but the reverse. So imagine having it all blue and you're painting around the blue to get that V on the knee pad. So it's like a reverse way of coloring it in, and you can do little tricks like that to help smoothen out lines and stuff like that when you're working on your figure. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, really cool figure. We got the antenna right there, which is awesome. I love it. I made a tutorial on how to do this antenna a long time ago. I do believe this one's metal. I've used metal for some of them, and I've also used it's like a bristle from a plastic bristle from a broom, just because for one, they're black, they're the same shape or the same size that you need, but when you push them, because it is a bristle, it can wiggle so you don't break them off. So it's kind of a I guess just a safety piece, if anything, because it doesn't break when you drop it and stuff. And then we have the 501st blaster, which is always really cool. I did do a tutorial on how to make my style, my version of this, but this one's pretty cool. I like the idea of putting the scope was cut off and then put down here, or I think that's the scope, yeah, cut off and put down back on the bottom. It's a cool way of doing it. I have a lot of these pieces, a lot of those pieces, because I have so many that I hack up when I customize weapons, so I might actually start gluing those on there along with the rest of my stuff. But also that piece right there is pretty good piece for making jetpacks. So that's I might make a words, I can't speak. I might make a video on how to make jetpacks from scratch too, because I did get some Mandalorians that don't have any jetpacks. So anyway, now we have this is I believe the Royal Guard or Imperial Guard or Senate Guard, something Guard. Let's see here. The Royal Guard. The Royal Guard it is. Now these are pretty cool. I saw the cool ones with the like mohawk thingies. I wish Lego would have made those, but I might be able to customize one like that in the future, because those are really cool. But these are really neat. I have a ton of these. I think I showed in my last video the figures up in my closet that I have. A bunch of these I'm getting ready to put together, and I actually have one right back here. Yeah. So this one, wait, no, that's completely different. I don't know why I thought this was the same thing. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. This helmet is from the red ones, but it was painted blue, which is really cool. It almost looks like the old Mandalorian look. If anyone has seen the old Mandalorians, they look like, they basically look like that from the Knights of the Old Republic video game. They have those kind of helmets. There's also some in the new Rogue One movie, if anyone's ever seen that. And on that planet that they're sucking up all the crystals, and there's all those like bounty hunters and just rough people in that little town. You can see some of these Mandalorians. So anyway, moving on. We got ourselves the knee pad right here. I think this paint might have been not scratched off, but it looked like when it was painted on, it was painted on it with a thin layer, and that's why you can see the metal through that. That's easily fixed with more paint. And then the belt right here. And then the chest, it's kind of hard to get stuff on here because the helmet comes down so far, but you did get some pieces there. And then you got some up here on the shoulders. Now it is tricky when you're using apple barrel paint because it will scratch off. You can see how the tips of those shoulder pads, the paint is scratching off, because apple barrel is really a weak paint. It's an awesome paint. It's good for a lot of things, but it is really weak. Like you can scratch it off. It's water based, so it doesn't really stick to stuff super well. So be careful where you put it, so it doesn't get damaged. This might have been when you're handling it, you scratched it off, or the cape might have been brushing up against the edges. But that is something that it can be avoided, which is good. But if you want something more permanent, try to use Tester's paint. I get mine at Michael's. You can probably get it online, but Tester's paint is model paint, so it's a lot more durable when it comes to touching things and all that. So, but yeah, it's still, you know, it's a good figure. I do like the blue cape is cool, because these, I mean, if you're using one of these bodies, this is all you get. So everything else you added on there, and these would look really cool for cape. That's a good idea. It's a good little touch. This weapon, I don't really know how to describe this weapon, because they do have this weird like staff thing. I can tell it's what you're going for with this, and using real Lego to make it. I don't know if the real ones, I think when they're holding them, it actually goes to the ground, or it's a weird weapon, whatever it is, like a staff, light, like blaster rifle, kind of pokey stick thing. It looks like the most weak, innocent weapon you can think of for a guard, but that's what they have, and you know, as far as I can tell, you did a good job with it, because I don't really have any references to go off of for it. So yeah, that is all 6 of these figures. Great job. I'm almost done with these reviews, and then I'm going to send these back, I promise. And then I still have all of those in there. There's a ton, and those are they're detailed, so I might do fewer in each video. And then I haven't opened all of those. That's my plate. Those are my I almost said sandals. Wherever they are, just ignore them. And then I think I showed that, my sword. But anyway, so yeah, if you guys like this video, you know what to do. You hitchhike it, push that thumbs up button. Also, I am going to put a link to the minifig maker, and put his link, well, it's going to be up here the whole time, but also put it down in the description so you can go check out his channel and give him some support. Also, if you want to send me your figures, just let me know in a personal message, and I'll try to get back to you with my address so you can send stuff. Yeah, also, if you're the first person to leave a comment on this video, you get a shout out, which goes right up in here. Also, a new thing is, if you don't have any content, I'm not going to do that, because if there's no content, there's no need to make that stuff. People send. I don't want to send people to a channel with no content on it. So you'll still get a shout out, but I'm not going to send the link unless you have stuff on your channel, which it makes sense. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Give some support. Just keep in mind too, a disclaimer, these are not my figures. I probably should put that at the beginning, but these are not my figures. I think I've had some confusion in the past where people thought they were. These are not. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, y'all take care. Have a super awesome day. God bless, and I will see you next time.